I got to cut a bit of 100 by 100 galv. I got to do a little internal 90. Now this isn't how to, this is just how I do it, and I think pretty much most people do it the same way. I mean, obviously you can buy prefab 90s nowadays, but I do it. So that's my center line, that's where I want the back of the bend to be. So I'm going to mark 45 this way and that way. I'm going to cut down and cut, so I'm going to cut one triangle out essentially, and so it overlaps. Some people just do like cut 45 45 and then butt together, but it leaves a horrible middle bit which you can see down. So I'm going to do 45 45 on both sides. Just carry that straight line through, 45 45, and then but I'm only going to cut one triangle out on both lips, and then close it in together and then nut and bolt them through. But you'll see what I mean when I mark it up. So I've marked up both sides. Like this is, like I said, there's much better people on here who could teach you how to do this. This is just how I do it. 245 center, 245 center. So I'm going to cut this triangle out and a little lip there, and on this side, and then close it in together. That's it. So I'm also just going to cut, now I've cut the two triangles out, obviously I'll file it all later. I'm going to cut this flange, this lip off, because when I bend it, this is going to slip in underneath there. So I need to cut that off, otherwise it won't go in past there. So I'm going to cut that off to the 45 and straight, and then the same on this side, cut along the edge and straight. You could cut it anywhere along, just enough to get a bolt in, but I'm going to try and use the whole piece. I've just stuck a bit of lid under here just to make the trunking rigid, otherwise it'll bounce around as I'm grinding. You can use a block of wood or something like that, or a bit of PVC conduit and stuff like in there, but I'm just going to use the lid. I use this so I don't cover the place in, in spray, but I'm gonna grab some lunch, let that set, and then do a second coat, and then yeah, bend it in. So this is, I've had a bit of lunch, thanks Miles for that. And this is the second coat I've just put on, so let that dry, and then like I said, I'll fold this over, and then I'll measure the other corner. It's just a small 90 I'm doing below a consumer unit. So yeah, good stuff for this. So now that's all dried, hopefully this should just close up inside like that. Oh, lovely. And we'll bolt it through down here, and the same on this side, just down like that, down there, and then you're left with a nice 90 then. Yeah, job's a good one. I'm just gonna a couple of M6 nuts and bolts to hold that there, and then I can cut the other end and pilot drill some fixings in the back, and we'll get up on the wall. I'm going to stick the nut and bolt sticking out. I don't know if that's controversial or not, but I'd rather not have that thread sticking into the trunking with all the cables coming in, so I'd rather do it that way around. Well, I just cut the threads of the M6 bolt flush, because I think I haven't got much room. I don't want it to foul anything below or above. So now I'm going to cut the next bit, which is just going to be a straight cut, so nice and easy. But that's how I've done my 90 degrees. And when I do the when I do the lid, I'll measure. I'll do it in one piece, and I'll just do a little slice in the lid to bend it, to do the internal bend. So, oh quick, Miles is coming, the boss is coming, look busy. Yeah, that's how I do it. That's how I do 90s, or how I was taught doing 90s. So you might do the same, you might do something completely different, you might think that's rubbish, and that's cool. We might buy prefabs, and if you do, then you do you, princess. As I suspected, my DMs were filled with moany when I mentioned about prefab bends. Look, don't get me wrong, I got nothing wrong with domestic have-a-go sparkies who want to do some big boy shit for the local hipster cafe who wants the industrial look, and so they just do hundreds of straight cuts and use galv prefab trunking bends and galv prefab conduit bends so they can look like one of the big boys. I've got no problem with you guys doing that. But I don't know if they might still teach it at college. I don't know if they still teach it in college to make bends, or whether they just get you to assemble prefab bends. But for me, I was taught to make them very early on in my apprenticeship. Bridges, sets and stuff like that, and I learned underneath some great sparks. And I've used prefabs before, I've used prefab bends, I've definitely used them as a subby and as the main contractor on jobs. However, they're not, for me, there's always like a gap when the prefabs, when they slot all together. I don't know if that's me or whether it's purposely designed like that. There's always a gap, right? But more importantly, what I don't like is that if you've got multiple bends, like internal, external, you know, going round something, I find that it twists and wobbles more with prefabs. If you build it in one solid piece, it feels so much more solid. Prefab just feels like it twists and wobbles, you know? That's my opinion anyway, but fair play to you keyboard warriors. Essentially, so essentially that's where it's going to go, but it's going to sit up here. So it's actually going to go up tight against that, across the bottom, along to the edge there. Probably have to drill a hole for a grommet or something in the top, but I'm just offering it up to see, and it's nice and tight, straight to the edge. My measurements were good, straight to the edge. I think that's already bushed and couplered. No, I probably will put a bush and a lock ring there. I'm going to do the same. I'm going to do a bush and lock ring onto this, and there's going to be an enclosure below it, so that's where it's going. Now I know there's going to be some Proteus haters on here, but I'm subbing, and to be fair, they're not actually that bad, but there's some hate on them. Miles, have you got a 40mm hole saw? So I'm going to mount that up against there. And I thought you were getting 4 lock rings to space it off the trunk in for the lip of the lid and that. It was going to be bush and lock ring, and then on the inside lock ring and a female.
I might have some more.
Yeah. That's what I need. I'm hanging this job out, and so I'm just marking a centre line, because that's going to go something like that. So I don't want to be too close to the edge, otherwise it will foul it. Trying to turn this on. So I'm probably going to do that and that. Just eye that in, roughly like that. And then same on this side. Right, that'll do. I'll drill those 2 40mm, and then I'll do, it'll be like lock ring, sorry, bush, lock nut, in there, lock ring, female bush. And it's a 3-phase supply in and a 3-phase supply out. Let me drill it all and then show you what I've got to. Again, I just used the lid to stop this bouncing around and rattling around as I'm trying to drill it. Just wedged it in reverse to hold the lips apart. Strengthen them up when I drill. Right, so that is that assembled. Oh, hang on. Let's get the, don't forget these, very important. Don't see many people using these female bushes. Help protect cables. That's ready and assembled, ready to mount against the wall. And it's going to be 3-phase in and 3-phase back out. I've just got there's a 32 or 40mm bush and lock ring, got to go there into the bottom of the consumer unit. So yeah, I'll probably fit that tomorrow because time's getting on actually today. We've been doing a load of other stuff, so yeah, I'll fit that tomorrow. But yeah, that's what I've been up to.